dream in your life. And so one thing I always try to do is to be very honest with people and let them know that it's more to it than having a vision and a dream for your life. You have to begin to put foot to the vision, and one of the ways that you're going to be able to put feet to the vision is by having capacity. You can't fulfill a vision that you are not built and capable of accomplishing. Let me say that again. You cannot fulfill a vision that you don't have the capacity and the bandwidth to accomplish. Yes, you have a dream. Yes, you have an aspiration. But how do you move from hope to manifestation in your life? You do that through execution, and you cannot execute without having capacity. And so capacity requires discipline. It requires development. It requires coaching and training and mentoring and maturity and growth and so many different things in our lives that so many people want to do. I think most of all, execution will require inconvenience. And inconvenience is always the catalyst to the improvement of your life. And so many times people are looking for something deep and profound, and they don't realize that improving your life is really about willing to get uncomfortable and to do those necessary things that will move you from where you are to where it is that you want to be. And so as we begin to bring this series to a close, the greatest commitment you can make in order to change your life is the commitment to embrace and to execute your vision. Let me say that again. As we bring this series to a close, the greatest commitment you must make in order to change your life is the commitment to embrace and execute your vision. And so if this is the most important commitment that we can make, I want to pose this question to you. Have you committed to embracing and executing your vision? Because I see so many people that talk a very good talk. They have all the right catchphrases, all the right affirmations, but when we really look at their lives, I don't see any fruit. I don't see any results. I don't see any progress taking place. And so you have to begin to embrace and to execute your vision if you want to be successful. You've heard me say this. If you've listened to this show for the last 10 years, you've heard me say this many times. Where there is no vision, people perish. Where there is no prophetic utterance, the people cast off restraints and run wild. What is wrong with the world today is not that people are products of the environment or prisoners of circumstance. We have a generation that has no vision for their lives. When you don't have a vision for your life, you always live your life serving somebody else's vision. When you don't have a vision for your life, your time begins to be consumed by the activities and the efforts of others because you don't have a clear path of distinction and direction for where you're going with your life. And so you have got to have a vision. You have got to know where you're going. You can't afford to spend all your days scrolling social media, binge watching Netflix, helping everybody else do their agendas, but never advancing in the things that you want to do. And so embracing your vision is a choice that we must all make. Let me say that again. Embracing your vision is a choice that we must all make. And one of the ways that you are going to begin to embrace your vision is to get it out of your head, get it onto paper before you, where you can begin to see your vision and goals in a more positive light. You know, a lot of people have told me, oh, my goals, my vision is in my head. But it's not enough for it to be in your head. You need to get these things down on paper, and you need to have the ability to see them so that you can begin to formulate some plan for the realization and manifestation of those things. Executing your vision is a commitment that you ever make. And the reason I say that is because if only 1% is really achieving this true level of success and prosperity and greatness in life, then that leaves 99% that are not doing it. And what I tell people all the time is that if you would do just 1% more than the average person every day, you're going to live an uncommon life. But we live in a society and a culture that is lazy, and they're lazy because we have all of these excuses and all of the reasons why we can't do what it is that we say we want to do, which lets me know that we don't really want to do it and that it's not really a priority in our lives. Because anything that we prioritize, we pursue, and anything that we prioritize, we are willing to partner with to see that thing become a reality in our lives. And so when we talk about things that we're never really willing to give ourselves to, it's a very good indication that that might not be a priority in our lives. And so if you want to separate yourself from the pack, if you want to be that one that is distinguished among the 1% and the top performers and the high achievers, then you're going to have to be willing to do what nobody else is willing to do. I always say if you do what others want, you can live like others never will. If you do what others want, you'll live like others never will. But if you do the status quo, you're going to settle for the same mediocre results that everybody else is achieving. And so there has to be this innate desire within you for more, to be more, to do more, to have more, to create more with your life. And in order for you to get to that, you're going to have to be a person that begins to execute on your vision consistently. And what I've discovered is that execution requires the elimination of our excuses. I want that to soak in for a minute. Execution requires the elimination of our excuses. Most people, when I begin to talk to them like I'm talking to you today about moving from a dream in their heart to the realization of that dream in their lives, and I begin to talk about the discipline and the execution for that to happen, most people begin to give me a bunch of excuses. Let me tell you what I mean by that. When I tell a person, that's great, but if you want to do this, you need to do A, B, C, D. This is what I hear. I don't have time for that. I wasn't born into the right family. I was born on the wrong side of the tracks. I don't have the education. I don't have the pedigree. I don't have the knowledge to do that. I'm afraid of that. Everybody has told me that I'm crazy, that will never happen for me. All of these are, while we might consider them to be legitimate excuses, they are illegitimate excuses, and they are the lies that limit us and keep us in the same cycles of frustration, failure, and defeat in our lives. The reality is that if it's going to be, it's up to me, and that you are the catalyst for all change in your life. What I love about the message of empowerment is that this is not a message of misplaced responsibility. I want you to write that down. The message of empowerment is not a message of misplaced responsibility. In other words, this is not a blame game. This is not a point the finger match at other people. The message of empowerment is so great because I have to personally take responsibility for my life, for the choices I make, for the direction that my life takes, for how I use my time and energy and effort, and how all of that contributes to the manifestation of my dreams and goals. And so you have to begin to eliminate the excuses in your life. Excuses are the monuments that we build to mediocrity in our lives. And let me tell you, some people have built some really big monuments in their lives to mediocrity because they like excuses. Excuses give us a sense of relief. Many times they give us a pass to really undermine our potential and to not give ourselves fully to the accomplishment of our goals, our dreams, our aspirations, provide us with a layer of insulation so that they can ultimately continue to conceal the insecurities and inadequacies that we have in our souls. And so as long as we are insecure, as long as we are feeling inadequate, as long as we insulate ourselves with the lies and excuses that we tell ourselves, we get to stay in the same state and nothing progresses or moves or grows or is challenged about our lives. Excuses are the shrines we build that enslave us to second-class living. And so you have to decide, do you want excuses or do you want results? What do you want more in your life? Because we can continue to tell ourselves excuses, but as I often tell people, as we make our excuses, time is not waiting on us. Time is moving. Moments are being stolen. Opportunities are being squandered. And most of all, the seed of your potential is dying, because if you're not developing it or doing anything with it, it's dying and it will never reach its full maturity. And so you can continue to tell yourself all the